you were actually the lead designer at SadaPay as well. And one of the things, designer, UI, UX designer, product designer, how are these different?
I basically just asked myself, what do I even want to do? So in that, it's like we have so many designers, but who is actually a designer?
Introduced us to something. I was an engineer at SadaPay. So you introduced us to something that was a design system, right? That's something.
I am actually tired of people pretending to be a designer, which they are not, just to get an easy job.
You've worked at two startups where you've built teams from scratch, right? So what does the hiring or the recruitment process look like for a design?
बैंक ऑफ पंजाब की एप्लीकेशन तो मतलब ना होने के बराबर थी, मतलब उसको खोलकर if I'm trying to use it, I was actually web designer is someone who actually thinks about the product.
ठीक है.
He does not think कि मैं visually मतलब इसको solve कर दूं. If you remember, CTA ही होता है, बटन भी CTA है, लिंक भी CTA है, और भी बहुत सारे तरह के CTA है, बट कौन कहाँ कैसे यूज करना है.
Assalamu alaikum, Basit. Welcome to Campus2Career.
वालेकुम सलाम कुलसुम.
Okay, so I would firstly like to start by you introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about your professional journey so far.
I'm currently leading product design and experience department at ZARR, which is A16Z backed startup. It's a Solana-based digital wallet, and I've been in fintech industry for the past 6 or 7 years, and I have already worked from startups to traditional banks and also neobanks as well, and taking startups from zero ground up to actually the stage where they get acquired. And me being from a background of tech software engineer, as we always like when someone is doing bachelor's in IT or computer science, they eventually become an engineer and they eventually turn out to be a developer. So that was the same story for me as well. So, but then I switched my career towards design. So, but that's a little bit brief about me.
Okay, that sounds great. Okay, so I know that you've worked in a lot of fintechs, like you mentioned. You were actually the lead designer at SadaPay as well. And one of the things that I think SadaPay को initially attention जिस वजह से मिली थी, उसमें एक बहुत बड़ा factor था कि उसका user experience बहुत अच्छा था. It was very streamlined, it was very different, which is something that is lacking in most financial applications, especially in Pakistan, right? So what did you think what did you do differently that enabled that to happen?
In single statement or word, we just thought about the users. That's it. That no one actually cared about it back in 2020 or 2018. And I still remember कि 2019 या 20 में I used to have an account with HBL and Bank of Punjab, and Bank of Punjab की एप्लीकेशन तो मतलब ना होने के बराबर थी, मतलब उसको खोलकर if I'm trying to use it, I was actually putting azab on myself. So if I wanted to send money to someone, मुझे उसमें ये करना पड़ता था कि पहले अलग से एक आइटम पे क्लिक करना, जहाँ पे लिखा होता था ऐड बेनिफिशियरी, उसके अंदर जाके मुझे उसका नाम, उसकी ईमेल, फोन नंबर और बहुत सारी और चीजें, I don't exactly remember, so I might miss some things, but उसमें बहुत सारी चीजें डाल के एक अलग फॉर्म और एक अलग, मतलब जिस तरह नहीं होता कि डिपार्टमेंट में जाके आप एक ना फॉर्म भर के मतलब देते हो कि यार मेरी एप्लीकेशन जो है ना सबमिट करो ताकि मैं आगे बढ़ूं. So once that is done, then I go into the transfers, and then in the transfers I select that beneficiary and I do somewhat again that sort of a process जहाँ पे मुझे फॉर्म फिल करना पड़ रहा है. So it was traditional banking, the manual banking processes and operations translated into digital world. They never thought about the digital world, what exactly it solves. And that's where when we started building SadaPay, I still remember my first early few days at SadaPay when I was sitting with the CEO and some other leaders. I asked them that I am from an experience point of view, I was still at that stage जहाँ पर मतलब being a young person, I was very curious about products. So I asked them a very basic question that कि यार what are we exactly doing? Because we have a central bank as a regulatory, and they have regulations and they have rules which are applied to everyone else. So how do we basically excel from everyone else, having these exact same rules to play? It's the same playground, it's the same, these are the same rules for everyone else. But how do we make our mark? Like, what makes exactly SadaPay as SadaPay? It was all in the name.
Yeah.
Sada means simple, and then the pay.
Yeah.
And he said to me that we will only probably target initially to simplify things for the people, because over here in Pakistan, right at that time, 2019, 2020, traditional banks either didn't have banking applications, or else the one they had it, they were worse at that their time.
Yeah. Really.
And we, if you remember, we didn't even have digital wallets. Matlab, naya pe was still, I think, in testing phases or somewhat in alpha side. And then EasyPass and JazzCash was not exactly what they are right now. They're giants now, but they were not exactly this. They were more on towards merchants, and वो जो दुकान पे जाके आप cash मतलब देते हो और exchange करते हो, receive करते हो, and then I think कुछ payments करते हो दुकान पे जाके. And their most used was the um, transfers and receiving money through the SMS pin, SMS codes. I don't remember what exactly it's called, but yeah, SMS codes. But that's where we were at that time. And as I said, we just thought about the user. कि भाई user को क्या चाहिए, वो क्यों क्या करने आ रहा है, and हमने उसको देना क्या. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's very interesting, and that's very important that you think about the customer, and that's something that you guys did at a very early stage when no one else was doing it. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So, आपने अपने intro में mention किया that you came from a CS background, right? So you were also a developer, and then you transitioned into product design. So how did that transition come about?
It was quite natural, to be honest. मतलब जिस तरह innate होता है ना, उस तरीके से था, क्योंकि I was not bad at coding at that time, and right now I don't even remember, but at that time I was not bad at coding. When I graduated, even my final year project was on blockchain back in 2018. जब मतलब blockchain was not that famous in Pakistan. And the thing that was troubling me was कि यार मैं ये क्यों बना रहा हूँ. मतलब मैंने बना ली है कोई चीज. I have done it because this actually happened with me. A client came to me and he said that he needs a website which was quite complex, and referral programs and whatnot. It had a very complex database in it, and I did that. And 3 महीने या 4 महीने लगे. I completed that product, and after that, in 2 months, that complete product was shut down. And I was like, man, I can't even show this on my portfolio or showcase or anywhere else. What exactly did I do wrong over here? Then I thought that it was not me, it was him. उसका idea भी clear नहीं था, उसकी product market fit भी नहीं clear थी. Although ये जितने words मैं अभी कह रहा हूँ, user experience, product market fit और ये सारी चीजें, ये उस वक्त मुझे कोई idea नहीं था. I only had some basic questions like वो जो naturally आते हैं ना, ये क्यों मैं कर रहा हूँ? Why am I even doing this? Why this product does even exist? So ये सारे whys, they were troubling me, and that is exactly why I was unable to settle in a culture of the company जहाँ पर they were like they give you tasks on Jira or somewhere, and then you do it and you go home. That's it.
Yeah.
And I was not settled before that. I left around 6 to 7 companies in only span of 5 or 6 months, or maybe less, if I remember correctly. Even I spent like 3 days at a company, and I left 4th day. And those companies were definitely small software houses. But the thing, there are two things over here. One, I was able to get the job because I had good coding skills at that time. Second, I did not settle for something that was not naturally coming to me. So this is why I just sat with myself and I said that यार मैंने करना क्या है, मतलब what is exactly bothering me. So what I realized is that I want to be a person. I didn't know again the titles. I didn't know again the field, etc. because I didn't have that much exposure. And when you graduate from university, you don't exactly have so much exposure.
Exactly. I think that's the problem.
So I think that is why even this platform exists.
Exactly.
So I basically just asked myself, what do I even want to do? So in that moment, I realized I want to be someone who decides about the product and the users. कि भाई, if this is the product, how it should be for the users. You want to build something that is different. You want to achieve something that is different. How to make both of these things happen with the users, that is completely different. Like people still struggle that कि मेरी onboarding जो है ना वो completely चल नहीं रही. ठीक है. Onboarding itself is a word which just means कि किसी बंदे को onboard करना है. And there are now thousands and millions of components and flows that you can get, and there are even companies who just are working specifically on for onboarding. But no one actually teaches you कि your specific user target is this, and you need to play with them in this way, because that's where the experience comes in. That's where you need to know that their behavior, their attitude, how they perform, how they do is this. One example that I can give you is very recent, is that if I'm not incorrect about the number, but that 72% of our merchants were actually bypassing order flow. What is order flow? It was like एक merchant है, उसके पास एक बंदा कैश एक्सचेंज करने जा रहा है, तो उस बंदे को पहले एक ऑर्डर प्लेस करना पड़ता है उस शॉप पे जाके, ठीक है, और वो ऑर्डर की नोटिफिकेशन उस मर्चेंट के पास आती है, एंड ही बेसिकली then accepts the cash from him and then he sends money to him. So that we have an order system history maintained and transactions maintained and everything else. This is how typically we designed in the start. But later on, we realized 72% of our users, also our merchants, were bypassing this flow. What they were doing is that they were communicating with that person. कि भाई तुम्हें कितने % पैसे चाहिए? 1000 रुपए चाहिए, दे दो मुझे और मैं 1000 रुपए तुम्हें सेंड कर देता हूँ. अच्छा. And no AI or not any other software would catch that, the why they were actually doing this thing. Exactly. It is the natural behavior, how they deal trade. Actually, these guys are not tech savvy. They are not they're quite professional with they're not educated and they're not tech savvy. So that's why they do the dealing on the basis of words and speech. And that's where we did not improve that flow. We killed it. We killed the order system. के मतलब, okay, if you want to do it in this way, sure, you do it in this way. आप क्या करें, buy and sell बटन पे क्लिक करें, उसको पैसे भेज दें और आप पैसे ले लें, बस. We improved our system in such a way that we understand that this is actually an order.
Okay, that's very interesting. Yeah. अच्छा, आपने कोई बात mention की कि titles, like when you were transitioning, you didn't know what your title would be, right? What you're looking for. So when you think about the design field, you think about like a graphic designer, UI UX designer, product designer. How are these different? What does each mean in your experience?
I can tell you two things. One, what each means in my point of view. Then I don't care about that. Because me, as a person, I know what I need to do. I know why am I hired. So maybe the company that hired me doesn't even know that this title actually is the right title for this guy. One example is that if you remember, few years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago, wahi log who used to design UI, they were called graphic designers. Then they were called web designers. They used to design on Photoshop, they used to design on Adobe XD, and then they used to design on Sketch, then they used to design on Figma. Nowadays, we just use our AI to just get it developed directly. It's not the title, it's not the tool, it is what you do. It is the mindset, it is the taste, and it is the judgment of the designer who basically solutionizes problems, removes complexity, and just simplifies it.
Yeah.
But if you ask me what exactly technically these titles mean, so graphic designer is someone who designs posters and works on Photoshop or maybe for Instagram stuff or social media stuff. And then for me, a UI designer is more towards specifically user interface. And I would understand that he specializes in that, not the experience side, not the flows, not the components, not the other things. And maybe some of them are also specializing in components as well. And then the UI UX guy is someone sort of a consultant who, if he gets some task for the UI and UX. He gets it done. That's it. He's not a product designer. Product designer is someone who actually thinks about the product. He does not think कि मैं visually मतलब इसको solve कर दूँ. If you remember, at SadaPay we had an issue coming from our customer experience folks, जो CX के बंदे थे. They basically were facing a lot of issue that कि हमारे पास volume बढ़ता जा रहा है, हम numbers of बंदे hire करते जा रहे हैं लेकिन उसका कोई फायदा नहीं हो रहा, volume फिर भी बढ़ता जा रहा है.
बिल्कुल.
Chat kind of problems का. That's where we as UX designers or product designers came in, and we did not design a solution which is a visual. We did not design a platform or something. What we did was we revamped their service design. हमने पूरा properly पहले उनको shadow किया, फिर उनके interviews लिए, फिर उनको देखा कि करते क्या सारा दिन. हम literally, me and my team, my designers were sitting with them to, like around 2 hours, 3-4 hours, and even in the offices as well. They were used to just shadow them and see and understand what they do exactly, how they behave. And then we saw there are some issues that we can solve in the software, but then there are some issues mostly which we need to solve in the service design. And usme basically we brought the AI chatbot as well. And then the AI chatbot was not working at all. We had to improve it gradually. It took like 3 months where we reached at a point jahan par our AI chatbot was working around 60-65% to solve the queries, and rest of them were going to the humans, and which was a huge relief for them. We had 100% of stuff that they were doing initially.
Yeah.
And we did all this data driven. We had softwares like Intercom and Mixpanel and others, and also Jira जहाँ पे tickets बन रहे थे इन्हीं की queries के, users की queries के, उन सबको हमने sort किया, उनको categorize किया, कौन सी problem किस category में जा रही है, किसकी सबसे ज़्यादा आ रही है problems. उनमें से हमें वो भी problems मिली जो कि हमारी अपनी application के अंदर issues थे. तो we solved those problems first, so that कि हम अपनी application को तो बेहतर करें पहले, ताकि ये problems दूर हों. और ये महीनों का काम था. It was not like just 1 day or 2 day work.
Yeah.
So that's what a product designer is. And this is not a UI UX kind of work.
Yeah. So you mentioned कि data को लेके बहुत ज़्यादा analyze किया और उसको लेके decisions लिए. So how much of design is from data or intuition?
I think if you're working initially, I would say just get something out. Even to get data, you need to get something out.
बिल्कुल.
So you need to be quick. So intuition comes first, then the data comes. The intuition से कुछ बनाया, release किया, देखते रहो क्या आ रहा है क्या नहीं आ रहा है, then data will basically give you. But still, data will only tell you what is right and what is wrong, probably.
ठीक है.
कि मेरी KYC चल रही है या KYC नहीं चल रही. मेरे ट्रांसफर्स जो है ना उसमें इतना ड्रॉप ऑफ आ रहा है, इतना नहीं आ रहा, ठीक है, ये बता रहा है, वो ये नहीं बता रहा क्यों हो रहा है. That is where your experience comes in. That is where your research comes in. That is where probably at some point intuition also comes in.
Okay, very interesting. Very interesting. So while we were working at SadaPay, you introduced us to something. I was an engineer at SadaPay. So you introduced us to something that was a design system, right? That's something जो कि मैंने कभी नहीं सुना था in my experience working in companies till then, right? And I found that something that was very interesting. And I think it really streamlined the process for us developers as well as the design process. So could you tell us a little bit about what a design system really is and why it's important?
It's not, I will start with what it is not.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of misconceptions about design system, and I have been working with design system for many years. And it is not a UI kit.
ठीक है.
One. UI kit is something जहाँ पर आपके पास components होते हैं और components बना के आपने रख दिए हैं, and that is not a design system.
I think
and then
conception है.
Yes, and then secondly, design system is not on Figma. This is one of the biggest things for the designers to learn. Figma is a tool, that's it. Its tool can be a pencil and paper. मतलब paper में मैं बना कर दिखा दूँ components ऐसे ऐसे होंगे, and वो book, just imagine it, a book, right? In that book, there is index, directory, and everything written. It's sorted, well sorted, but it's still a book. It is not in the software. It is not in the system, right? So Figma is also a tool. It's if the components exist over there, that is not a design system.
ठीक है.
A design system requires principles, rules, guidelines, whys, and whens. When is very important nowadays for AI, especially. If you want to automate your design system with your agents and bots, the agents and bots need to know what are the guidelines, what are the principles, and where can I use this component, where I can't use it, when should I use it. And there is some sort of judgment to these automations and these bots and agents, but it is you who needs to define that. कि मतलब कार्ड भी एक CTA ही होता है, बटन भी CTA है, लिंक भी CTA है, और भी बहुत सारे तरह के CTA है, बट कौन कहाँ कैसे यूज करना है, it depends on you. You need to define that. Now, I think what is not, I have already told you. What is a design system? To some extent, I told you. But when I want to tell you that when I introduced design system at SadaPay, not many companies were basically exactly working as the way we work.
बिल्कुल.
I still remember that it took me like multiple meetings, multiple presentations, multiple workshops to convince my leadership, CTO and head of engineering, that I need developer support to make this happen, because I was not a developer. And it was you guys. I think you were also in the design system team at some point.
I was contributing to building that.
Yes. So we at some point I had to convince them, and I convinced them that I need a team from engineering side. I need support to get it built. Which nowadays we have agents, we have cloud code, we have AI for that. And you guys helped me out with that. We built tokens, we built a pipeline, a workflow, which I have never seen at that time, back in 2021 or 2022, at any company, where basically if we change anything in Figma, we push from Figma in GitHub, you get a notification in GitHub that is button mein kuch change hua hai, color change hua hai, radius change hua hai, kuch hua hai, and you change it in Codebase. So it was so synced. Designer is working in his own kitchen.
Yep.
He pushes an update, you get an update automatically, you just pull it, and it works. And the best part, application mein components और बाकी चीजें सारी automatically update होती जा रही हैं.
बिल्कुल.
And such sort of maintenance I have never seen existed before at any company. And this was due to, again, problems that were arised in the product. And we as a product designers, we thought about systems. So a design system is a system. It's not something, a UI kit. It's not a directory. It's not an index. It's a system, how the product works, how the design function works, basically, in the product.
Yes, I think it started from you guys noticing design inconsistencies across platforms and different screens, and that's when we started to think. Actually, you guys started to think that
I think we had like 20, 30 plus engineers, right, at that time.
Yes. We had a good engineering team.
That was the cause.
Yeah.
The team was getting bigger and bigger day by day.
Yeah. So you've worked at 2 startups where you've built teams from scratch, right? So what were some of the challenges that you faced in building a design team?
One of the biggest challenge I faced is that finding the right talent is not easy as it looks.
ठीक है.
I had to like conduct hundreds of interviews, and from those, then the top of the funnel was hundreds, and then uske andar tens, and then usme niche number, single digit mein number aa jate the. And the most important thing that I have learned is that what you hire as a first person in your company.
Okay.
That guy actually sets a bar.
Oh.
So when you're hiring, you need to know and you need to hire a person who's better than you. Never ever hire someone who is not better than you. Because if he's better than you, you learn, and he takes care of the company, he takes care of the team, and it is your team which excels. and it is he who gets experience and who moves ahead as well, and that's also in your and gets in your profile. So I am very proud that the people that I've worked with, the people that I hired, they were actually better from me in a lot of sense. Maybe someone was better in data-driven design decisions. Maybe someone was better in UI. Maybe someone was better in illustrations. Maybe someone was better in visual thinking. मतलब कोई ना कोई एस्पेक्ट होता था जिसमें वो बेहतर होते थे.
बिल्कुल.
And I had a team where these guys, they had um, T-shaped design archetypes, जिसमें वो एक ना एक quadrant में they were expert.
हाँ.
Someone was expert in design system, someone in visuals, and I was more of a generalist. And if I need some help, I go to that guy and I ask, "Bhai, please help me out with this thing." And that's how the team works basically. The team has its pros, its cons, but you need to balance it under like in such a way that a table has multiple legs. So the table is not dependent on one single leg.
Okay, interesting. So, what does the hiring or the recruitment process look like for a designer?
It has changed a lot right now due to AI. Because every single person is able to come up with case studies by one single prompt.
ठीक है.
And I mean, it's funny and it's scary as well that the things that we used to take like weeks to build after thinking properly, now it's done in few minutes. And that creates a lot of saturation. That creates a lot of competition. That creates a lot of it's like we have so many designers, but who is actually a designer? It's really difficult to say. It's really difficult to judge that now, as compared to like a couple of years ago.
बिल्कुल.
And now also the job market is not as good as it used to be. The job roles for a designer has been reduced compared to where we were like in 2023, 2022. It was peak probably. But it's still valid for the people who are actually product designers.
ठीक है.
And not someone who got their portfolio or case studies generated through AI. It's not that ki wo unacceptable hai. It's like they're missing to communicate कि भाई मेरा taste क्या है, मैं designer हूँ. I mean, if it was for an engineer, it would have been completely fine. Because that's not the judgment criteria. यहाँ पर judgment criteria ये है कि I want to see who this guy is actually. What is his story? इसका टेस्ट क्या है, इसकी जजमेंट क्या है, ये चीजें कैसे सॉल्व करता है, इसका माइंडसेट क्या है, एंड आई विल डेफिनेटली रीड दोस केस स्टडीज. एंड इफ आई फील लाइक यार दिस इज जस्ट bullshit or maybe vague and it's created through AI, I would be like, man, he didn't even put any effort into it. And that's why I think a lot of companies have very different interview process nowadays, but previously it used to be a very simple streamlined interview where you get an introductory call, where that is the first gate in jahan par if you are able to sell yourself in such a way that it moves ahead. And the second one is probably technical interview with designers, product engineers, or product managers. Then they give you an assignment or maybe a live whiteboarding session, and or a take-home assignment, and then or maybe some companies used to do both as well. I remember Revolut basically gives a whiteboarding session live with product managers, engineers, and many other big companies like Talabat, Delivery Hero. They also do it. And they also gave you an assignment as well that you take home, think properly. And because both of the things are completely different. One is that live under pressure, how do you think? How do you do with your peers? How do you work? Second one is if you have time and how do you work? So तो दोनों बिल्कुल मुख्तलिफ चीजें हैं. And then they have like those case study or assignment defending call, and then the last one is probably cultural fit interview.
Okay. So, people who are graduating from the universities, right? What is मतलब अगर डिज़ाइन में किसी ने आना है, so what is the degree that they need to be doing, or what are the tools that they need to be learning, or what are some skill sets that they require in order to excel in this field?
I will be brutally honest here,
Yes.
because I am actually tired of people pretending to be a designer, which they are not, just to get an easy job, which actually is not an easy job. Being a designer, you have a lot of accountability on it. So you need to ask yourself first, what do you exactly need to do?
Hmm.
Like the example that I gave about myself. Like I did not know about roles, I did not know about SDLC properly, or I did not know about processes. Exposure nahi tha bilkul bhi
Hmm.
after university, but I knew what I need to do.
Hmm.
I knew कि मैंने कहाँ बैठना है, मैंने कहाँ क्या करना है. That's it. Think about that first. What do you exactly need to do? And if it is that you need, if you want to create beautiful visuals, beautiful stuff, be that guy. If you want to solve product problems, be that guy.
Hmm.
But do not be someone which you don't want to be.
Hmm.
Whether it's not in yourself and you're still trying to improve yourself again and again, at some point it will choke you.
Hmm.
In maybe in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, but you will get tired and you will feel like you're burned out, and you will feel like, no man, this is not what I wanted to do. And you will feel like कुछ आपको force कर रहा है ये सब कुछ काम करते. When I have seen those designers, I have, when you just catch them at the point when you're having a chat with them,
ठीक
you
है.
know that this guy is not probably the best fit for this job, even though उसके पास talent है, tools हैं, सब कुछ है, but वो अगर mindset नहीं है, वो अगर judgment नहीं है, तो no. वो कहते हैं ना कि आपका किबला दुरुस्त होना चाहिए, your direction needs to be
Hmm.
the right first.
Hmm. Okay, so you learned जब आपने development start कर दी, right? And then later on you realized, okay, this is not what I want to be doing, right? I want to do something where I can make a difference. I know what the why is, and so on forth, right? So how do you think um, other people can find that? Like, उसका क्या, do you think you need to just start something और उसके अंदर dive in करके पता
Yes,
चलेगा, या फिर if there's
yes.
another way of doing it?
Like many people used to ask me, I've been mentoring on ADP list for a year or two,
Hmm.
and many people used to ask me that कि भाई I don't have work, तो मैं मतलब क्या showcase करूँ, मेरे पास कोई काम ही नहीं है showcase
हाँ.
करने के लिए.
Hmm.
That is actually the real craft. When you're sitting in your garage
हाँ.
and you don't have anything to do, creative people start doing something,
Hmm.
and they build something that showcases their ability.
Hmm.
And this is what you, being a designer, you need to do. That कि if you face any problem which is a real problem, get a pen and paper, and that's it. Just start working on that thing कि ये है क्या, ये क्यों है, ये कैसे है,
Hmm.
and start to solutionize it. I really don't care about tools,
Hmm.
and I hate those questions even in interviews जहाँ पर वो मुझसे ये पूछते हैं कि do you know how to use Figma, do you know how to use XYZ tool. I mean, it's, tools are just like कि मतलब it's a screwdriver. Someone will teach me how to use it. I will learn it next day. It's not difficult. When to use it, where to use it, how to use it. These are the things
Hmm.
that actually matters. And this is where the bubble has burst in this era, where AI has actually shown that tools does not matter, because now
Hmm.
all those tools and everything, the execution stage, AI has controlled it.
Hmm.
आप एआई को बोले इमेज जनरेट करे, कुछ करे, एडिट करे, फॉर्मेट करे, कुछ और बनाए, डॉक्यूमेंट्स बनाए, वो सारे टूल्स वो खुद बना रहा है, खुद खुद कर रहा है.
Hmm.
बट अगर आप नहीं बताओगे कि क्या करना है,
Hmm.
won't be able to do it. It won't be able to do it. I have been fighting, can say, working on with my AI for like a couple of weeks to build my own portfolio, and it did a magnificent job
ठीक.
probably, but I did not like it. क्यों?
Hmm.
Because it is not who I am. It is not who, what my taste is. It is not what my design looks like.
Hmm.
Because if someone visits my website, it should look like me.
Hmm.
आपके घर में कोई पता जाता है तो घर से पता चलता है कि इंसान कैसा है.
Hmm.
So it should speak that volume.
Hmm.
But AI won't be able to translate that unless until I tell what it needs to be done.
Hmm.
So that is, AI is still a tool.
Hmm.
In my opinion, someone still needs to learn how to use it in the best format. And that's why we see on Twitter, X, Facebook, or maybe some other social medias where one developer or one designer has created a magnificent sort of looking landing page. But if you do it, you are unable to get those same results.
Yeah, that's true.
But one thing I want to add here for your previous question, how do they get into this field? My story was when I was software engineer, I had a lot of stuff to show from coding side. कि मतलब मेरे प्रोजेक्ट्स क्या किए हैं, मैंने सब कुछ करके, but I didn't have any design work to show. I only had some Photoshop posters or etc. which I just did for my passion. That's it. And but I started to apply and I got so many rejections because I didn't have experience. But I knew that it is going to happen. Okay, I don't have experience and no one will hire me. But I did not stop because that's what I wanted to be. So one day, I still remember that guy and I still remember that he gave me that chance. He basically called me for the interview. I sat in front of him and he said that, okay, you don't have any experience, but I'm just going to ask you simple questions. So you just need to think about that and answer it. That's it.
ठीक है.
Said that कि एक न्यूज़पेपर की एप्लीकेशन बना रहा हूँ जहाँ पे आर्टिकल्स होंगे, ऐसा चीजें होंगी, तो उसके लिए फॉन्ट कौन सा यूज होना चाहिए. मुझे ना तो फॉन्ट के नाम याद थे, ना तो मुझे ये पता था कि सेरिफ क्या होता है, सैंस सेरिफ क्या होता है. आई डिडंट इवन नो दीस काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स. बट व्हाट आई न्यू वाज दैट कि यार I still remember that my reply that font needs to be वो फॉन्ट जिसके एजेस हों. मैंने उसको इस तरीके से जवाब दिया था. व्हाई? ही सेड व्हाई. मैंने कहा इसलिए क्योंकि जो आपका एजेस के बगैर वाला फॉन्ट होता है उसमें आई और एल के अंदर ना डिफरेंस नहीं होता है. एंड इफ समवन इज रीडिंग articles and newspaper, they need to have that clarity. And that's where he was able to understand my mindset. And he asked me like 2-3 more questions which were more rational and more like logical. And then he said that I'm going to give you a chance because your mindset is at the right place. And he gave me that chance, and because of that probably I'm here today. And it you can say it might happen with luck as well, but I don't believe luck happens without hard work. I got hundreds of rejections before, and I was in front of him, and I was confident enough to reply something that actually mattered.
Yeah, I think that's a very nice story. Yeah, very interesting. Okay, so do you think creating portfolios is important?
Right now, nowadays, very important.
Very important. Okay.
Because it shows you. One of my previous head of product design, Basit, he says that this thing, that it shows you that you put time and effort and energy in your work. And it shows you who you are. And that's what we want to see. And this is why I spoke previously as well, कि वो taste, वो craft, या वो feeling आनी चाहिए कि बंदा कौन है आपकी वेबसाइट पे जाके. अगर मैं आपकी वेबसाइट खोलूंगा ना, वो मेरा पहला impression होगा कि कुलसूम probably has such sort of taste. Probably loves such sort of fonts or such sort of visuals, because this is her portfolio.
Okay. So we've already talked a little bit about how AI is changing the design field, right? But I think I just want to dive deeper into that, because things have definitely changed and processes अब AI की वजह से बहुत ज़्यादा streamline हो चुके हैं. But what do you think is different now working in the design field because of AI?
I can't give any conclusion because we're still in that transition period where this role is changing drastically. I can give one example that even I personally have eliminated my own role in my own company.
Okay.
And I'm getting switched now. Okay. So I'm already looking for more opportunities. Why and how is that?
Yeah.
We built the design system and we moved every single component principles and everything into an agent readable format. And also we moved all the components into Storybook. And there are 2 workflows around it right now. One where we have guidelines and principles, design guidelines.md or something. And agents basically read those and judge the designs created by the engineers by themselves and on the basis of that, they fix it, improve it, and move it ahead. But that's for MVP, definitely. And we have moved towards more on consultancy basis, where if something is not working, we are on the field, we are researching, we are on the product, where we are tracking all those. We're still doing the same work, but completely differently. We as designers are no more in the SDLC, the delivery pipeline.
ठीक है.
So we are not in the delivery pipeline. Tickets come to the engineers, and engineers pick them up. If they need designs, they will just ask their assistants or bots to go through the guidelines and principles and build the screen using existing components, using existing stuff. And we as designers, we are consistently and constantly increasing and improving our design system components library so that they have everything what they need.
Okay.
And then basically it generates a screen. Definitely the taste and everything what I talked about matters over there. Yes, every engineer builds something different compared to the other one, but it works for the MVP. This increases the speed where we used to take like 2-3 months to release a feature. Now it gets out in 2-3 days. We have even enabled OTA updates, over the air updates with React, where we don't even need to push new stuff to get updated from the store. It's just over the air.
Oh.
So the delivery is super fast right now. Features get produced probably in days rather than months.
Yeah.
And this is where we have killed the role of designer where it was typically an year ago. Right now, it's more on the consultancy basis, where if something does not work and an engineer needs help and he says that this is not working, we have metrics and we see those metrics on the dashboards, and those metrics are telling us that chal nahi raha kuch, matlab samajh nahi aa rahi kya ho raha kya nahi ho raha, and then designer comes in and pair with them and then they solve the problems together sitting. It's the same concept but differently approached. We still design screens as an nahi, but when it is actually required, we are more towards solving problems which actually matter now.
मुझे आपकी बात से ऐसा लग रहा है कि जो प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर का रोल होता है या वो और प्रोडक्ट डिजाइन का रोल बहुत similar.
We don't have product managers.
Oh, you don't have product managers? Okay.
We killed the role of product managers. We eliminated that like months ago.
Yeah.
And we have been without product manager since then. I think November, December, we actually got rid of all product managers.
Okay.
And all of that flow and that work is approximately 80-90% automated. We have 12 plus, if I'm not wrong, it is 16 plus agents working 24/7, having their own job descriptions, and they're set at the exact same bar and standard as humans. We talk with them, we have fun with them, and it's weird actually, honestly.
Yeah.
They joke around as well, and they, as soon as a problem arises, notification is there, agents get into it, they start working on it. And the best part, we even have internal tools, a complete suite, which I'm working on the brand and the design of it. And that is the first software that I'm working in my life, which is going to be primarily used by agents.
Oh my God.
And then secondly, the humans.
Agents.
The agents, yes.
Oh my God. Yeah.
We have a knowledge repository, a knowledge base, which is called Nexus, in which, think of in this way that there are nodes, there's a network, there is Slack, there's email, there's meetings, there are so many other ways where humans communicate, they make decisions verbally. And if you remember, we used to have this problem that ki hum verbally kuch discuss kiya hai and commit kar diya hai, but proof nahi hai, ya phir jo hai na Slack pe likha hua nahi hai. Yes, but all of that gets recorded into that knowledge base. That knowledge base automatically updates itself. And if I go to that knowledge base and I ask that, how much does physical card cost right now? और अगर साल पहले वो $8 का था और आज $10 का, it will show me that's $10, and it will also show me that who decided this. It will also show me where it was decided and in which meeting. So I don't have to be in so many meetings. I'm more focused on my work, which actually matters now.
Yeah.
I have so much free time in the whole day that I can focus on my work, where we used to have like 40-50% meetings in my day.
True. And I feel old thinking about it because, like, when we started, uh, बहुत different थी work life. Like you mentioned, most of our time, so many meetings, so many things. Like we never could have imagined so much automation, right?
Yes,
It's very
it's insane.
scary. I think is a
And it is scary, it's insane, and it's beautiful as well.
yeah.
And I just wonder where it will go after 6 months.
True, true.
Because this is the start. This is the start of an automation or the system where it has started to gather itself. कुछ बन रहा है, कुछ build up हो रहा है.
बिल्कुल.
6 महीने बाद देखते हैं कि what monolith or Goliath will it become.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I want to head over to a quick rapid fire where I'm just going to ask you a few questions, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, are you ready? Okay, so design or product thinking, what matters more?
For me, product thinking.
Speed or perfection?
Speed.
Depth in one skill or breadth across many?
Many, across many.
Data or intuition?
Intuition.
Simplicity or feature richness?
Simplicity.
Startups or big tech?
Uh, Startups.
User needs or business goals? What wins?
User needs.
Portfolio or real experience? What matters more?
Real experience.
Networking or skill building?
Networking.
Deadlines or creative freedom?
Creative freedom. Being a designer.
Dark mode or light mode?
I am now old, so light mode.
Okay. Heading over to some one word answers or maybe one liners. Biggest misconception about designers?
They are visual designers. UI, they just make pretty screens.
Biggest red flag in candidates?
If they're trying to fake and they feel like the other person doesn't know,
Biggest green flag?
they're genuine. What they're saying, they actually mean it, and they have a story to tell, and they have a natural coming towards the career.
Okay. One portfolio tip?
Keep it simple, and keep it short. Do not overload it, and do not make someone go through inside the tabs, pages to get actual value. Bring it first. Bring the value first, then tell what you have done and why you have done. Excite the user first. Like you show a painting and you are a painting seller on the road, someone cross by and he says, wow, that's amazing. Let me just see it, what it is.
Nice. One skill you learned too late?
That's speed over perfection, because designers usually are perfectionists, and but I learned that speed matters way more than being perfect.
One skill every designer must have?
Their own thinking, their own intuition. I think intuition matters a lot, and there's a complete different and separate study on intuitive design as well.
Okay, that's great. That's it for our rapid fire. I want to conclude by giving you the chance to give advice to young professionals and fresh grads that are just starting out their career. Anything that you'd like to say to them?
Look, the grind is a must thing in the career. Either you do it right now, or 10 years after, or 20 years after. Right now you're young, you have time, you have energy, do it now. So go out there, build your own garage, and सारे दिन में कुछ ना कुछ करते रहो, कुछ ना कुछ एक्सप्लोर करते रहो, कुछ ना कुछ बनाते रहो, और कहीं ना कहीं जाकर आपको रियलाइज होगा after trying things out कि okay, this is something I enjoy doing it. If you don't do something, you won't be able to know that what I enjoy doing it, and that enjoy doing it always changes over the years. Remember this, because I've been through that.
Yeah.
If I like to design a screen, probably 10 years ago, I loved it. Right now, maybe I don't. So, and also that grind part is true for a successful career. So you either you have to do it in the start or in the mid or in the end to achieve thing.
Okay, that's great. It was lovely chatting
As
with you. Yes.
Azad Chaiwala Bhai says that ke जवानों कुछ ना कुछ बनाते रहो, कुछ ना कुछ करते रहो. So we have to do that.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Solid advice. Thank you so much, Basit, for your time. It was lovely chatting with you. I think we got some great insights today.
Thank you so much, and I think this platform must help a lot of candidates, and there is a lot of education. There is a lot of students out there in Pakistan which do not have mentors, which do not have peers, and I was one of them where I did not even know what I was doing.
Very good.
So this platform, I hope it helps them.
Likewise, that's the hope.